Hello everyone, what is up? Nubby here, back with another Honkai Star Rail video, and today, surprise surprise, I want to talk about Honkai Star Rail, my current favorite gacha game for almost 2 years now, with its anniversary coming in the very next patch of 3.2. And in this video, I'll share some of my own personal experiences and opinions in what was Honkai Star Rail like during its release, how have Honkai Star Rail changed over the years, and finally, what has Honkai Star Rail currently become. So with the intro out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Honkai Star Rail publicly released internationally on the 26th of April 2023 for Windows and mobile devices worldwide. And from my experience, the game was launched during a time where Genshin Impact was still the top dog in the gacha industry. But it was also a time where people's distaste and bitterness towards Genshin and its developers were growing at an all-time high, with its stingy anniversary rewards and general lack of endgame content. However, at the time, Genshin had little to no real competition, especially since the quote-unquote Genshin killer at the time, Tower of Fantasy, failed to do its job of killing or even at the very least competing with Genshin Impact. Additionally, as Honkai Star Rail was set in a completely different genre, being a turn-based RPG while Genshin was an open-world action RPG with the COVID buff, many people at the time didn't really even think Star Rail would even come close to Genshin's success or even compete with Genshin at all for a share of the gacha market. But, to everyone's surprise,
oh my god! Oh my god! This is so hype! This is so fucking hype!
Honkai Star Rail's success during launch was like an uncontrollable wildfire, taking people by surprise with just how good the story was, how fun the turn-based combat was, how epic the boss fight and music was, and how polished the game was overall. And it felt like Genshin's monopoly of the gacha space was finally broken, because finally there is an alternative, another gacha game with a similar or higher quality to Genshin with the same polish HOYO-verse is known for, with seemingly better and more generous developers as well, that gives free 10 pulls every patch, more endgame content, actual quality of life changes such as a stamina reserve system, and free limited 5-star characters.
When version 1.6's Pantaray event warp becomes available, every Trailblazer who has unlocked the mail feature shall receive, via mail, one limited 5-star character Dr. Ratio.
What?
That is to say, me. Through sheer tyranny of will, I shall become ubiquitous. With this, I bid you farewell.
Wait, we just get a free 5-star?
And there we have it, folks. The esteemed Dr. Ratio.
So what the fuck?
Honkai Star Rail was overall a really successful gacha game since the very first day it had launched, and it has consistently outperformed Genshin Impact in the gacha revenue charts since the game's release, from May of 2023 to June to July to August to September to October. You get the point. It has consistently competed and beat Genshin in terms of revenue and quality. And during this period of time, I really fell hard for Honkai Star Rail, and I'm sure a lot of other people did fall in love with the game too. And people at that period was very hopeful for the game's future, and it really felt like whatever direction Star Rail is going, it was going to succeed, and people and the community felt like it was in a state of bliss for a very, very long time. However, due to recent events, special programs, recent updates, and the seemingly new direction the game is going, how people view Honkai Star Rail has changed, or at the very least, my view on Honkai Star Rail has changed. And this wasn't like an overnight thing where, oh, global passive in a gacha game is bad. No, I feel that I have started feeling differently about Honkai Star Rail since around version 2.6. It wasn't 3.0 and Amphorus, it was like a few patches before Amphorus. And I feel it was during this time where I really realized that there was like a big power creep and HP inflation issue with Honkai Star Rail, which I feel disincentivized me and discourages me in pushing endgame content and grinding Honkai Star Rail in general. So it was around version 2.6 to 2.7 where I really became a more casual player of Honkai Star Rail. As in, I don't really push all the endgame content anymore, I don't really try to get all the stars, and sometimes I don't even participate in the endgame content at all. I just forget about it and ignore the rewards I'm missing, and I feel that is completely fine because this is a gacha game, and as a free-to-play player like me, you cannot expect to always clear the endgame content. And since no matter how casual you are still able to enjoy the main story quest of Honkai Star Rail with its epic boss fights. So even with these big power creep and HP inflation issues, Honkai Star Rail was still a very good and enjoyable game. And I feel this was how a lot of casual players felt, as they don't really care about the endgame content, they just mostly care about the main story quest. But then came version 3.0 and Amphorius, as the game was adding a whole new world for us to explore, alongside a whole new story arc for the main quest. This was a major update for Honkai Star Rail, and all eyes were looking at the 3.0 version update, because as previously stated, for a lot of casual players, the story quest is now the main content that they play Honkai Star Rail for, and as they can't really keep up with the power creep and HP inflation issue in the endgame. This includes me. And unfortunately, the main story quest of version 3.0 under-delivered and could not meet the community's expectations. I made a whole video on this issue. The link to the video will be linked in the description below. But in summary, while I still really enjoyed the version 3.0 story quest myself, I cannot deny that there are issues in how Honkai Star Rail presents its story with the whole black screen and lore dumping issue. All in all, Honkai Star Rail during version 3.0 started feeling like it was in a bad state, where it felt like a lot of casual players can't really even beat the endgame content while not having their expectations met in the main story quest. And then, Honkai Star Rail's version 3.2 special program happened, in where it was announced that everyone is getting a free limited 5-star character Ron May and around 30 free pulls as the second year anniversary reward. And while this is really good, it was also confirmed that the Honkai Star Rail developers are adding global passives into the game with the release of the new limited 5-star character Castrus. And I know there's like a whole debate going on with whether global passives is good and bad for the game, considering that Star Rail is already, so power crapped with big power creep and HP inflation issues. But I can't really say for certain, as I don't really play any other gacha games with global passives, so I cannot say with certainty whether it's good or bad. But what I can say with certainty is that the global passive issue is the straw that broke the camel's back for a handful of Honkai Star Rail players, causing them to quit the game, or at the very least voice their concerns and dissatisfaction with how the game is changing for the worse. And now, finally, after going through the start of Honkai Star Rail all the way back in 2023, and after going through how Honkai Star Rail, in my opinion, has slowly changed over some of the version updates, what has Honkai Star Rail currently become? Well, as I am making this video, Honkai Star Rail is still currently my favorite gacha game, as this gacha game has been able to give me my highest highs in the gacha market, with the Cocolia boss fight, with me finally clearing MOC Memory of Chaos consistently as a free-to-play player back around version 2.0, with the great Penacony story quest, followed by the Sunday boss fight, and even the Nikador boss fight in version 3.0. Honkai Star Rail will always have a special place in my heart, and I'm really committed to its story, and I won't quit anytime soon, as I really want to see how the story develops in the end. But then I realized something. Because right now I play the game very casually. I don't really care about the endgame content like Memory of Chaos anymore, and I mainly just look forward to updates to the main story quest. And then it fucking hit me that Honkai Star Rail has turned into Genshin Impact. Hashtag Honkai Star Rail could never. Anyways, that is all from me. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, if you disagree with anything I have said, feel free to call me a dumbass in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Nubby out.